Well, you could call this a Making a Difference report tonight. We just don't know who to nominate. Somebody is dropping some very valuable coins in those red Salvation Army kettles this time of year, helping a lot of people and making for a kind of charity mystery. NBC's Kerry Sanders has our report from Fort Myers, Florida.
The sounds of the holidays. But in Southwest Florida, it's also the soundtrack to a mystery. For the 7th year running, someone has quietly slipped this into the Salvation Army's collection pot. A 1913 Double Eagle St. Gaudens $20 gold coin. Value today, $1,800. Vernon Robinson was on duty when someone dropped the coin into his kettle.
Yeah, I ain't never seen that like that in my life, so it made me feel real good.
As in years past, the coin came with a handwritten note in loving memory of Mimi. At the Salvation Army Sorting Center, volunteers are on the lookout for perhaps another gold coin.
I definitely have my eyes peeled.
Could be another?
We don't know. Could be somebody else wanting to donate.
The Salvation Army is the second largest charity in the United States, founded by Minister William Booth in London in the 1850s.
In the last 3 decades, gold and silver coins have turned up during the holidays in those red kettles in at least 10 states, including Texas, Illinois, Colorado, and here in Florida.
We live in a fast food world today where everything seems to be instant. Let me make my donation online. Do you take credit cards? But this person has taken the time to find this coin every year.
The Salvation Army, a Christian organization, says there are 2 messages that resonate: that note and what's inscribed on the coin. In God we trust. Kerry Sanders, NBC News.
These local volunteers don't call themselves heroes, but for the people in Alabama who lost so much, they were a lifesaver in more ways than one. For many victims, water, food, clothes helped, but volunteers found it was the simple human connection that made the difference.
What our volunteer coordinator primarily did when she went up to Tuscaloosa, she hugged a lot of people and she prayed with a lot of people, because that's really all she could do. And believe it or not, that really helped.
Mary Lou Bennett from the Salvation Army of Lee, Hendry, and Glades counties went to Alabama to assist tornado victims.
I saw a lot of destruction and chaos and debris. Even though it was 3 weeks after the tornado touched down, the place was still completely flat.
Bennett went with other local volunteers on May 11th. For 2 weeks, they traveled through flattened neighborhoods to offer whatever aid they could. In a time of desperation, Bennett says hope is all these people have. Some are still recovering from the worst experiences of their lives.
I talked to the assistant fire chief. He had survived, but all of his neighbors had been killed, and he actually had to go across the street and find all of them. And he said, as assistant fire chief, you're trained to deal with disaster, but there's nothing that can train you for what he saw.
Local volunteers are still helping in Alabama. If you want to help, you can contact the Salvation Army. Monetary donations are always welcome. In the studio tonight, Nick Spinetto, Wink News. Now.
Oh, thank you, Max. Bless your heart.
It's that time of year again. Starting tomorrow, the Lee County Salvation Army rolls out its Red Kettle campaign.
But this year, you won't just find bell ringers outside grocery stores. The charity is now hiring security guards to make sure donations stay where they belong. Anjali Long is here to explain. Well, the Salvation Army says it's something they never imagined they'd have to resort to. They're spending thousands this holiday season to hire security guards to man dozens of Red Kettle locations across Lee County. The decision comes as other charities in Southwest Florida are suffering big hits by burglars. It's a familiar sight and sound of the season. But this holiday, bell ringers won't be the only ones standing by the Salvation Army's famous Red Kettles. For the first time ever in our Red Kettle campaign, we will be hiring security guards. Believe it or not, the Lee County chapter says hiring guards is essential in protecting volunteers and cash-filled kettles scattered across 60-plus locations. The last thing we want to happen is to not have measures in place and then for something to happen. The decision comes after 2 Southwest Florida charities were burglarized. 2 of Harry Chapin's delivery trucks were recently stolen. The suspect seen in surveillance tape fleeing the food bank's parking lot overnight. And just weeks ago, the Salvation Army of Charlotte County was also victimized. This man caught on camera taking off with hundreds of dollars in donated items.
It is bad that we have to get to that point. It is really ridiculous bad, but that's signs of the time we're living in. A lot of people are struggling.
Their chapter's kettle campaign kicked off last week without security, all hoping that a familiar jingle will be enough to protect holiday cheer.
We have so many people out there that need our help that aren't resorting to these measures. Those are really the people that we have to think of.
The Lee County Salvation Army is releasing very few details on the number of security guards they're hiring and where they'll be stationed. They also won't disclose whether or not the security guards will be armed. Lois?
It's really unfortunate because it really impacts the people in need in our community.
Crooks crept onto the parking lot overnight and swiped this refrigerated truck. There was no food in it at the time, but on average, the truck delivers more than 16,000 pounds of food a day.
Unfortunately, that truck actually provides a lot of our ability to get food to the thousands of people in need in Southwest Florida on a monthly basis.
Harry Chapin Food Bank delivers food to 170 pantries in our 5-county area.
There are so many people in need. 40% of the population we serve, more than 12,000 are children every month. So by not having this vehicle, you're really hurting those that really need the food.
Among the pantries who get help from Harry Chapin is the Salvation Army. It got a delivery yesterday and is already running low.
But as quickly as we get it on the shelf, it disappears.
Salvation Army spokeswoman Mary Lou Bennett says the agency helps up to 100 people a day and relies heavily on Harry Chapin's assistance.
If the truck isn't found, it could put us in a situation that is even worse than we're in right now, because we count on them next week for another delivery.
To help find the truck, these flyers are being posted alerting people it was stolen. The news is also making the rounds on Facebook, but until it's found, Harry Chapin Food Bank is hustling to find a truck to make sure all local food pantries get orders on time. They're talking about renting one, but that will be costly.
The money that we're going to have to spend, unanticipated, to spend on replacing that vehicle is money that we could have spent on food.
It makes you feel so much better about yourself.
It may only be a few pieces of cloth stitched together.
It gives you that self-confidence you need to walk into a place knowing that, hey, this is a job that I can do, this is a job that I deserve.
A new suit can make all of the difference in the world to someone starting over. All this month, Men's Wearhouse is collecting donated suits and other dress clothes to give to men graduating from the Salvation Army's Crossroads program.
It's strictly voluntary. It's got a 36-bed capacity. And what it is for men that admit that they have a problem with substance abuse.
Mary Lou Bennett of the Salvation Army says participants enter the 6-month program where they confront their addiction and work to recover.
Then upon graduation, that's when it all ties into the suits.
They're given work skills and training to get them back into the workforce. Then they receive a suit to wear to job interviews.
To get them back out into the workplace, especially with the job market the way it is, they need an extra something. These suits give them those confidence that they need when they go into an interview.
Helping those who are taking steps in the right direction to keep moving forward. In Lee County, I'm David Bowden. Wink News Now.
Bell ringers banned? A Cape Coral resident seeing red after learning the Salvation Army's red kettles are not allowed at Target. And now he's calling for a boycott. 4 in your corners, Matt Grant is live in the studio with more on this story tonight. Matt?
Yeah, Amy, the Salvation Army collects money to give to needy families and to help buy toys for kids at Christmas. But Target sees that as soliciting, which they have a long-standing policy against. You've probably seen the Salvation Army's bell ringers, but here's one place you won't see those red kettles. That's because Target has a long-standing policy against soliciting.
This is an insidious and ridiculous attack on people who need help, and it's absolutely frightful.
With unemployment in double digits, Cape Coral resident Dick Kalfis isn't happy, and now he's targeting Target.
They've insulted all people in Southwest Florida that rely on the Salvation Army for help. I think it's a stupid decision.
A decision the company defends, telling us in a statement, quote, Target is committed to providing a distraction-free shopping environment for our guests, and they say their no solicitation policy, quote, does not diminish our support for the Salvation Army. The company says they give back in other ways, like grants, donations, and volunteering.
We have several retailers that don't allow us to ring, and we certainly harbor no ill will against them.
A Salvation Army spokesperson says even though their bell ringers are banned, Target helps out by donating gift cards for back-to-school supplies.
It's kind of difficult to be upset about it because it's not like they're not helping the Salvation Army, they do.
Still, all of this isn't sitting well with Kalfas, who's now boycotting the retail giant.
It's just an insidious situation with Target. Hopefully, they will see the light.
Now, Kalfas is also upset that Target's displays say Happy Holidays and not Merry Christmas. A Target spokesperson says they respect the diversity of customers of all faiths. Live in the studio, Matt Grant, Fox 4 in your corner.
All right, thanks, Matt. Now we want to hear from you. Do you agree with Target's bell ringer policy? Let us know when you go to fox4now.com and click on Viewer's Voice, or you can call us 239-206.
2 weeks ago, this freezer was filled with turkeys. Today, it's completely bare. The Salvation Army says this situation is all too common this holiday season and could cause cutbacks to those in need.
I don't think we've ever been in this situation before where it's something we've even had to consider.
Food is not the only concern. 4 days before Christmas, the organization is still $231,000 short of their cash goal, in part due to the recent cold snaps that held back volunteers and donors.
So not only did we have kettles where nobody was ringing, which means we weren't getting any donations, we didn't have shoppers.
A look inside the Salvation Army's pantry show empty shelves.
Normally, whenever you look in here, you'll find all these shelves with no gaps, but this season it's just hit us so hard that we don't have a choice, but when people ask for food, that we got to say no.
Now the challenge for Jeremy Hartman is figuring out, on a limited budget and supplies, what and how much to feed the estimated 300 needy people that will show up Christmas Day.
If we don't even come close to making the goal this year, we're looking at having to scale back some services next year. And that's a very scary situation.
A situation that has the Salvation Army hoping for a Christmas miracle. Robert Burns, Wink News, now.
Welcome back. The Salvation Army of Lee, Henry, and Glades County seen a dramatic drop in donations and in shoppers in its Lee County stores compared to a year ago. With proceeds significantly down, the nonprofit agencies becoming very concerned.
So tomorrow, the Salvation Army is holding a fashion show in an effort to boost sales and donations. So here today to tell us more about the show is Mary Lou Bennett with the Salvation Army and two of the models, Blake and Riley Spicker. And of course, they look a little familiar because they're Rob's kids. And so that's so great that they're going to be in this. So tell us the details of the fashion show.
Well, we wanted to give people an opportunity to see what we have in our family stores. I think, especially when it comes to children's clothing, it's not something that people automatically think of when it comes to back-to-school shopping. So, as I told Jim McLaughlin last night, you were kind enough to donate your children to put some outfits together for us.
Sure, they're happy to do it.
Yeah.
And what little they've picked out, you know, what do you know about the outfits?
Well, Riley has on an Old Navy sundress, which she said was her favorite, so I was glad that we were able to find that for her. And your wife was nice enough to write this down for me, $2.49.
For this outfit?
For this little dress.
Oh, my goodness. And you love it, Riley, right?
Yes.
Very cute. It has the kid stamp of approval here.
All right.
And then Blake, I was a little worried about because I'm not used to shopping for little boys. But you like this outfit, right? That's good?
Yep.
All right. And Rob, you told me that you've been told that you're going to be purchasing this later.
This one we have to pick up, I think it was $7.50 that you could outfit, Blake's a 5th grader, outfit them for a day at school.
We got some Gap shorts for him for $2.49 and an Izod navy polo, and it was $4.99.
I cannot believe those shorts are like less than $2.50. Those are Madras, and they're so popular right now. And you also have some school uniforms, because I know some kids have to wear uniforms to school.
Right. The biggest selection of our school uniforms are at our Cape store. So, especially with donations, that is something that we're always looking for. And as a parent, I can't imagine what it's like to have to go out and buy those new every year, because Rob, you know, and you'll know soon.
Exactly. So really,
they grow fast.
Right now is the perfect season when you're doing the back-to-school shopping to go ahead and look in your own closet, clean out maybe some of the things that they can donate, because that's what you really need right now.
Right, and like Rob was saying, obviously when Blake outgrows something, then Reed, your 3-year-old, gets into it. But then after that, unless you have friends or family that you can pass it on to, of course, we would love it.
So where do we look for the your store so that we can go do a little back-to-school shopping?
Well, we have 3 stores, one in Del Prado and Cape Coral. The one that's where the fashion show will be tomorrow at noon on South Tamiami Trail in South Fort Myers. And then our newest store is at 1855 Boy Scout in Central Fort Myers. And we have specials throughout the week. Wacky Wednesdays tomorrow, 50% off that dress.
Wow.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay, so then it's going to be like $1.
Not bad.
So you have to get it.
And 9 models tomorrow at the fashion show.
Yes, and we'll have them each model a couple outfits. And Lois, of course, is going to be the MC.
So it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, Rob, are you actually going to model, or are you just going to help the kids
I'm there
go
to
down the
perhaps
runway?
escort if necessary.
Okay.
We'll
Because
see
I
how
wanted
it
to see
goes.
your best modeling walk. I wanted to witness this.
You've
But
probably seen it.
It's gonna be a really great event, and it's a perfect time for you to donate to support the Salvation Army and come out and do some shopping.
All Wednesday, tomorrow afternoon. Hope to see you there. We'll be right back. Top stories, weather, and traffic.
Jerry Schmall is not a model, but his life could be a model to those hoping for second chances.
I put my body in totally disarray. I was drinking heavily, using drugs, and when I was in detox, I just had nowhere to go.
But today, Schmall is a graduate of the Salvation Army's Crossroads program, a 26-week rehabilitation program for people dealing with alcohol and drug abuse.
But I knew it was a 6-month program to change my life around and to learn about my disease, and that's where I started to learn about everything that I had going wrong in my life.
He learned and he overcame, and now Jerry works at the Salvation Army.
Where the sales of all of the donated items here go to support our drug and alcohol rehabilitation center for men and women that brings back lives that were once lost to drug and alcohol addictions.
As a way to boost sales and awareness, the Salvation Army hosted a back-to-school fashion show. Wink News' Lois Tomey emceed the event, and Wink morning anchor Rob Spicker's 3 children took on the role of models. This shirt will cost you $1.99. These jeans just shy of $4. Doesn't sound like much compared to the original retail price, but even that small amount makes a large difference for those trying to turn their lives around.
Buy something for $2, it feeds one person in this program for a meal. It saves lives, is basically what this program does.
In Fort Myers, Lauren Pastrana, Wink News Now.